She had a new outlook on life after getting her health back.
She had been cancer-free for nearly 6 months.
But now that her darkest days were behind her, she was ready to dip her toes in the dating pool.
And the dating pool welcomed her with open arms.
She had been dating a couple of different guys.
She was playing the field like any beautiful single woman would do.
But when her body is discovered across state lines, it's all hands on deck to track down her killer.
The first 48 hours of an investigation is very important.
With no shortage of suspects, police have to consider all possibilities.
Essentially, there was a lot of finger pointing going on.
Recently, he had been acting really strange, like he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
And when dark secrets are exposed,
He's been seeing her on the side while he has a whole wife at home.
the truth will finally come to light.
They took the seats off, and that's where they found blood.
You know, I used to see somebody walk in the room and on the back of your neck, stand up.
They don't tell you I'm a murderous narcissist right off the bat.
It's just so heartbreaking that she was able to survive cancer, but she wasn't able to survive this.
January 5th, 2013, Bethalto, Illinois. Another holiday season is winding down in this small town just 30 miles north of St. Louis.
Bethalto, Illinois is a small, quiet, peaceful suburb of St. Louis, Missouri. Population maybe between 9 and 10,000 people.
We're right across the river from the St. Louis metropolitan area.
At 9 a.m., one young man is taking a casual stroll in a rural area of town.
He was walking his dog along a rural stretch of highway and noticed something odd on the ravine along the side of the road.
Initially, he thought that maybe it was just trash.
But a closer look reveals a much more horrifying discovery.
It was a human body.
Oh my God.
He immediately contacts authorities.
And investigators are on the scene within minutes.
Those look like gunshot wounds.
She had been shot twice in the left side of her head.
But there's no sign of a struggle. There's no blood spatter that you would imagine seeing.
For police, this means the victim was likely killed elsewhere before being dumped at this location.
But who is she?
She didn't have any identification on her, so our first step in the investigation is to obviously identify the victim.
In these cases, when you find a body along the side of a road like this, you can reasonably assume that the person has been missing within the last few days.
Bethalto police put out an APB to local precincts and almost immediately get a hit from St. Louis regarding a current missing persons case.
Someone from the St. Louis City Police Department called us and said, hey, we've got one that's missing and we think this might be her.
Can you spell that for me?
The missing woman's name is Tabitha Milton Rush.
44-year-old mother of two, Tabitha Milton Rush was the sort of woman anyone would be lucky to count among their friends.
She was a kind-hearted, nice, church-going lady.
She was a volunteer at the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis.
People were in and out of her house all of the time to just hang out with her, to be with her. She was loving and welcoming to them all.
And Tabitha had recently overcome one of life's biggest challenges.
Tabitha was a breast cancer survivor.
She had been cancer-free for nearly 6 months, and it really gave her a whole new outlook on life.
Part of that new outlook on life meant opening herself up to the prospect of romance.
Tabitha had pretty much been single since she and her husband divorced in 2009.
She was ready to dip her toes in the dating pool and see what was out there.
And Tabitha didn't have to look far. She soon reconnected with an old high school friend named Glenn Jenkins, and the two instantly hit it off.
A lot happens in 25 years.
Tell me about it.
I'm just glad you sent me that friend request. It's been amazing getting to know you again.
Likewise.
Glenn had such a positive energy, and that made Tabitha feel really safe with him.
She was able to be completely open with Glenn about her cancer struggles and her healing process.
You're an inspiration, Tab. Truly.
But Tabitha never expected to meet another potential suitor so soon.
Just days later, she was approached by a charming stranger.
Hello. Mind if I join you?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Great.
She was out having dinner one evening when she met local chef Raymond Reed.
Actually, I work back in the kitchen. Just got off my shift. I don't mean to sound forward, but you are absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Raymond was outgoing. He was fun. They really enjoyed each other's company.
It's only natural to play the field a bit after being single for a while, so Tabitha intended to explore relationships with both Raymond and Glenn.
With her darkest days behind her, Tabitha was looking forward to a new year.
In the days leading up to New Year's of 2013, Tabitha was optimistic for what the future might have in store for her.
But now, investigators in Bethalto, Illinois believe Tabitha is the Jane Doe they found shot to death in a rural area of town.
Can you spell that for me?
Bethalto police were able to connect with that family rather quickly.
The family members were able to assist in the identification almost immediately.
And they're able to confirm that the body is, in fact, Tabitha Milton Brush.
Investigators know they need to move quickly in order to track down Tabitha's killer.
The first 48 hours of an investigation is very important, and getting a timeline together of the victim of a case is very important.
Tabitha's family hadn't heard from her since New Year's Day and reported her missing on the 3rd. So police believe she was killed sometime on the evening of the 1st.
In their search for answers, one of the individuals detectives speak with is Tabitha's ex-husband, Michael Grainer.
He wants to assist in the investigation any way he can.
You have kids together?
Yes, we have 2 kids.
Michael says that although he and Tabitha were no longer together, they always maintained a great relationship for the kids.
We've been separated for maybe 5, 10 years, but we're the best of friends. I'm always, any residence she stays in, I come and go as I please.
However, Michael insists any romantic relationship between him and Tabitha ended years ago.
It wasn't a sexual thing for the last 10 years.
So, when was the last time you saw her?
On New Year's Eve, 31st, that Monday.
They both attended a New Year's Eve party thrown by one of their mutual friends.
12 o'clock, we all toast. At 1 o'clock is when it was over with.
Michael says that when they were ready to leave, Tabitha asked him if he could give her a ride.
But it's where Michael dropped her off that piques investigators' interest.
He says he dropped her off at the home of a man she'd been dating named Glenn Jenkins.
After making a miraculous recovery from breast cancer, 44-year-old Tabitha Milton Rush was looking forward to what 2013 had in store.
After surviving a terrifying cancer scare, she had this amazing new outlook on life.
You're an inspiration, Tab. Truly.
She was dating again and had recently met more than one guy that had caught her interest.
She was playing the field like any beautiful single woman would do.
But now, Tabitha has been the victim of murder.
She was found shot to death along a rural highway in Bethalto, Illinois, about 30 miles from her home in St. Louis.
Tabitha is a sweet person with no enemies
who would do something like this to her?
In speaking with Tabitha's ex-husband, Michael Grainer, police have just uncovered their first lead.
He says the last time he saw Tabitha was in the early morning hours of New Year's Day when he dropped her off at the home of a man she'd been dating, Glenn Jenkins.
I dropped off at about 1:45 New Year's Day. That morning, Tuesday morning.
Michael says after that, he went to his girlfriend's house.
Okay. And I have a girlfriend that stays on Hammond, and I went there.
Michael says when he didn't hear from Tabitha later that day, he started to grow concerned.
After dropping Tabitha off at Glenn's house, he essentially never heard from her again.
She normally calls me and says, I need you to go get your daughter, gotta go to work, because this is how we interact. So that didn't happen. So come Wednesday, it's the same thing. Yeah. She ain't call me.
She didn't call you on Tuesday, which was unusual.
Right.
Okay. She didn't call you on
Wednesday was unusual.
That's when you became worried.
Yeah. And I'm like, this ain't her. She ain't giving me no break like this.
To investigators, Michael seems very trustworthy. They don't believe that he had anything to do with Tabitha's murder.
After wrapping up their interview with Michael, investigators shift their focus to Tabitha's new flame, Glenn Jenkins.
When police reach out and ask him to come to the station for an interview, Glenn Jenkins doesn't hesitate.
Thanks for coming in, Glenn.
Of course.
Glenn seems pretty shattered by what's happened to Tabitha.
I care about her a lot. I thought we was gonna have a real future together.
Glenn describes their dating relationship as casual, but in the past few weeks, he'd seen Tabitha quite frequently.
They were getting together 2 or 3 times a week. To law enforcement, that appears to be a pretty serious relationship.
Why didn't you go with her to the New Year's Eve party that night?
Well, I knew her ex-husband was gonna be there. And I thought it might be awkward.
But Glenn confirms Michael's account that Tabitha came over to his house after the party around 1:45 a.m.
Glenn says that he and Tabitha had spent the night together, and the following day, he dropped her off around 2 p.m.
He said when he dropped her off at her house, that was the last time he ever saw or spoke to her.
Look, I swear, I haven't heard from her since. Here, check my phone.
Based on the couple's phone calls and text history, it truly does seem that Glenn's last point of contact with Tabitha was around 2 p.m., the same day that he dropped her off.
And as detectives continue questioning Tabitha's inner circle, they're inclined to believe Glenn's account.
They spoke with Tabitha's friend Debbie, who reported seeing her at her home around 5:30 p.m. on New Year's Day.
Yes, I just swung by for a quick visit. I didn't stay long.
But Debbie says she wasn't the only visitor Tabitha had that evening.
Thank you for coming by.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's so good to see you.
Hold on a second.
Hey.
Hey.
Mind if I come in?
Yeah.
When she was over there, a man that Tabitha was dating came over to visit her.
His name was Raymond Reed.
Debbie, this is Raymond.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
You as well. I was actually just about to head out. You guys enjoy the rest of your night.
Okay. You have a good night.
All right, we'll talk. Okay, bye, hon.
When I left, he was still there. And I've never heard from Tabby since that.
This opens up a whole new slew of possibilities.
Raymond Reed is now the last person to see Tabitha alive.
Detectives wanted to get in touch with Raymond Reed immediately.
However, when investigators contact Raymond, it appears he's recently gone out of town.
They talked to him on the phone and he said, I'm in Oregon.
Well, it was a belated trip to visit my family in Oregon.
Since I missed out on Christmas.
when police inform Raymond of his death and wants to do whatever he can to help the investigation.
But detectives aren't so sure they can trust Raymond Reed.
The trip to Oregon seems just a little too convenient.
Something seems off here. Something seems fishy.
Detectives investigating the homicide of 44-year-old cancer survivor Tabitha Milton Rush have a new suspect in their crosshairs. A man she'd recently started dating by the name of Raymond Reed.
Hey.
Hey.
Mind if I come in?
Yeah.
As far as they know, Raymond was the last person to see Tabitha alive.
He also says he flew to Oregon around the same time she went missing, which seems very suspicious.
But when detectives review the flight manifest from the morning of January 2nd, Raymond's name is nowhere to be found.
He didn't fly to Oregon that morning. He didn't fly anywhere. So why did he lie?
Furthermore, Raymond's phone is now going straight to voicemail.
No one knows where he is.
Could he be on the run from the police? If so, he already had a 4-day head start.
And with all of this evidence kind of mounting, the police inform all of their local policemen to be on the lookout for him.
Yeah. I want his picture on every news station.
As officers scour the area for Raymond, detectives continue building their case.
We do a deeper dive into that person's history. Had they ever previously been arrested before? Do they have a history of violent crimes against persons, things of that nature?
And their concerns and misgivings about him continue to grow once they run his name through their police database.
He had a lot of domestic-related incidents where the police were called for him being abusive to a woman.
And when detectives reach out to Raymond's ex-girlfriend, she describes him as a dangerous man.
I think her exact words were, he was a cheater and a beater.
She said that he punched her, he choked her, and even stabbed her with a knife. She was so shaken by this incident, she immediately took out an order of protection against him.
Raymond Reed definitely had a dark side.
When detectives speak with more of Tabitha's loved ones, they learn she was starting to see Raymond's dark side, too.
It appears that no one is a fan.
They did not like that she was with him.
You look like a dusty like guy. Used to talk to guys that got something going for themselves. They're on the same page with her. I knew that he wasn't on the same page with her.
A lot of people said that they would be with her on certain days where he would call her 40 times in a row and she wouldn't answer. Repeatedly call her nonstop.
I had never really experienced this until recently, but they said when somebody walk in the room, there's just something about that person, like the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It was one of them kind of people.
It was kind of reported to us that a good way to describe his behavior was extremely controlling and possessive. And in law enforcement, that's kind of a red flag for us.
He was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Tabitha and Raymond had only been dating for a few months, but he'd become completely obsessed with her and was trying to convince her to marry him.
He made it known to her he wanted to move to Oregon. She did not want to do that. She had family and a lot of friends here.
He took up all my secret things. I'm gonna get married. I just want everybody to be happy for me.
He was essentially posting on her social media, pretending to be her. It was just bizarre.
In recent weeks, Tabitha had been pulling away from Raymond.
She's trying to ignore him now, but she's doing too much.
A lot of her friends say that she was backing off of him and that she was kind of ignoring him because she did not want to move to Oregon with him.
She was fed up with it. She saw it. She wanted to separate from her because she is that type of person. She was like, no, I deserve better than that.
She was starting the process of getting him out of her life, but he simply wasn't going to allow that to happen.
Was this a case of if I can't have you, no one will? When detectives speak with Tabitha's neighbors, that possibility becomes even more likely.
Neighbors report seeing Raymond's car sitting outside of Tabitha's house on New Year's Day.
They saw him sitting outside of her home that day, just staring at her home.
But it's what time this occurred that immediately strikes a chord with detectives.
It was around 2 p.m. that day.
It made them think back to their interview with Glenn, and Glenn said he had dropped Tabitha off at 2 p.m.
Now detectives wonder if Raymond saw something that sparked a jealous rage.
Did Raymond see Glenn dropping off Tabitha after spending the night with her, and did that cause him to snap?
With this chilling new information in tow, police obtain a subpoena for Raymond's phone records from the evening of January 1st.
And we have his location that evening. We also have Tabitha's location that evening. So we're tracking where they were all evening, and it shows both him and Tabitha traveling on the interstate into where her body was ultimately dumped, traveling together until her phone goes dead.
Investigators are ready to confront Raymond with the evidence in hopes of getting a confession. And it turns out he's feeling the heat.
On January 5th, Raymond actually shows up at the station to speak with investigators.
But he's not alone. There's a woman with him.
When he arrives to give his statement, he's accompanied by his wife.
In January of 2013, investigators in Bethalto, Illinois are zeroing in on their prime suspect in the murder of 44-year-old Tabitha Milton Rush.
They believe a man she'd been dating by the name of Raymond Reed is behind the crime.
He has a history of violence towards women and was exhibiting some very unsettling behaviors towards Tabitha in the weeks leading to her death.
By January 5th, it's clear Raymond has been feeling the heat.
He knows police have been looking for him, so he finally decides to show up at the station and speak with investigators.
Detectives, Raymond Reed is here.
But he's not alone.
When he arrives to give his statement, he's accompanied by his wife.
It's just really mind-blowing how he was in this relationship with Tabitha, but he shows up and he has a whole wife with him.
By all accounts, this was a man who was completely obsessed with Tabitha Milton Rush. So much so that he was trying to convince her to marry him and run away with him to Oregon. Meanwhile, he's already married.
Regardless, Raymond's wife, Faith Tyler, has his back.
Raymond Reed, nice to finally meet you face to face.
Just so you know, you have the wrong guy.
Faith says that she was with her husband the whole night on January 1st, so there's no way that he could have committed this murder without her knowledge.
Investigators believe Faith is lying to protect her husband.
Thanks, Miss Tyler. We'll be in touch.
Come with us, Raymond.
When detectives get Raymond alone, they cut right to the chase.
All right. You want to tell us what really happened on the evening of January 1st?
I already told you. I went to Tappy's around 5:30 p.m. and after that I went home.
He admits that he was at her home on January 1st.
He said that after he arrived at Tabitha's house that evening, she started to question him about the future of their relationship together.
Okay, so what's going on with us, Raymond?
I need more of a commitment. I want you to come to Oregon with me. I mean, you're gonna love it, girl.
I don't know, Ray.
The discussion turned into a heated argument.
Well, what you don't understand? I mean, we're meant to be together, you know that? The only way we can make this happen is if you agree to come with me.
Why are you so desperate to move?
He decided to finally come clean and admit that he was already married to another woman.
You can't be serious.
Yes, I'm serious. And if she ever finds out that we're together, she's gonna try everything to keep us apart. Now, the only way is to move somewhere else.
This is ridiculous. I am not going anywhere with you.
What?
He said that this disclosure of him being in a relationship with another woman just set Tabitha off, and she told him to get out of her house.
Come on, Tammy, you can't be serious. Come on, you gotta come with me now.
Get out.
You're not throwing me out. Come on.
Get out.
After that, I left.
He said he got home about 6:30 that night and never saw or spoke to Tabitha again.
He says he spent the rest of the evening with his wife, just like she said.
Why did you initially tell us that you spent the night? And why did you lie about flying to Oregon?
Detectives know they're not getting the full story here.
I don't know. I guess I panicked, okay?
That's when investigators tell Raymond his phone records place him at the site where Tabitha's body was found.
Come on, Raymond. It's time to be honest.
As the evidence piles up, he realizes that his story is falling apart.
Finally, he breaks and he says, okay, I want to tell you the truth.
You're right. There's more to the story.
But detectives never could have anticipated what Raymond says next.
It was Faith. It was my wife.
What do you mean?
He actually admitted being present when the victim was killed, only at this time he started blaming it on his wife, that his wife was the one that killed Tabitha.
On January 5th, investigators working the murder case of 44-year-old cancer survivor Tabitha Milton Rush are finally sitting down with their #1 suspect, her boyfriend, Raymond Reed. But Raymond has just made a shocking accusation.
He started blaming it on his wife, that his wife was the one that killed Tabitha.
After I left Tabitha's, I returned home, and Faith and I got into a real heated argument.
He says that he came clean with his wife about the fact that he was having an affair with another woman.
He says, my wife found out about Tabitha. She was angry.
Actually, I've never seen her so angry in all my life. And I knew I needed to warn Tabby.
Raymond says later that night, he drove back to Tabitha's house, hoping she would listen to him despite their earlier argument about his marriage to Faith.
Thanks for agreeing to see me.
You have 5 minutes.
Raymond claims that unbeknownst to him, Faith was hiding in the back seat.
Oh my God, who are you?
I'm his wife.
Faith!
Faith popped up, and then the two women got into an argument over him.
That's when it got real bad.
Tell us what happened.
He said Tabitha was in the front seat, my wife was in the back, and my wife just suddenly pulled a gun out and shot her in the head twice.
Raymond says the shots killed Tabitha instantly.
Faith, what have you done?
Just drive.
Oh my God.
And that's when Faith told him that they needed to get rid of the body.
Look, I didn't want her to turn the gun on me, so I agreed to help her.
They were driving around for hours, looking for the best place to dump the body.
After they dumped Tabitha's body in rural Bethalto, Illinois, Raymond says he and Faith drove back home, covering their tracks along the way.
They bought cleaning supplies to clean out the car, and then they threw the murder weapon into the Mississippi River.
Raymond says once they got home, Faith instructed him to clean the vehicle from top to bottom.
It took hours to get rid of all that blood.
Was Raymond really an innocent bystander in all this?
There's no doubt he's guilty of being a cheater, but maybe he's not guilty of being a killer.
In an effort to verify Raymond's account, investigators conduct a forensics examination of his car.
They took the seats off. They had to unbolt the seats, and that's where they found blood.
So investigators think they can confirm that this is where Tabitha was killed. That part of Raymond's story checks out.
They also find surveillance video from a local supermarket that corroborates Raymond's story.
Surveillance video shows both him and Faith purchasing cleaning supplies on the night of the murder.
Now it's time to get Faith's side of the story.
With Raymond still in holding, detectives contact Faith and bring her back to the station for an interview.
So, like I said, you have the wrong guy.
That's why we have to talk. Raymond has pinned the crime on you. He says you killed Tabitha.
What?
She realized what we knew, and then she was told that he said that she had done it. That's when she told us everything.
No, you have it all wrong.
Faith says that around 11 p.m. on the night of January 1st, Raymond came home with blood on his hands.
Oh my God, what happened?
Raymond told her that he had just shot a man in self-defense.
He said someone tried to rob him and he had to kill them.
I had no other choice. It was either me or him. So, baby, I really need your help.
What do you mean?
He begged Faith to go to the store with him to get cleaning supplies to clean up all the evidence.
Faith says she reluctantly did as she was told.
Wait. Don't sit there. That's what all happened. That's what all happened.
She said there was a sheet or something covering the front passenger seat, so he told her to get in the back. And she just got back there.
She did see blood splatter on the inside of the front passenger's door.
Next, they took off into the night.
They stopped by 3 different stores to gather cleaning supplies.
She witnessed him throw something in a white sock into the river, which we can now assume was the murder weapon.
She said they came home, she went to bed, and he stayed up and cleaned the car.
And after that, I really didn't think much more about it until I saw Raymond's face all over the news.
She saw her husband's face plastered everywhere as a potential suspect in the murder of Tabitha Milton Rush.
So when Faith put the pieces of the puzzle together and she confronted him about this, he came clean. He said that he had been dating her on the side, and he shared that he had actually murdered her.
He begged me to help him establish an alibi.
Against her better judgment, Faith agreed to provide him with this alibi.
Just so you know, you have the wrong guy.
She admitted that he convinced her to tell the investigators that she was actually with him during the time period on January the 1st that Tabitha had gone missing and ultimately was killed.
But now that he's turned on her, Faith says she's not about to take the fall for him.
I would never, ever kill someone.
Police now have 2 very conflicting stories. It's he said, she said.
Investigators have to figure out who's telling the truth.
After speaking with Raymond Reed and his wife, Faith Tyler, detectives investigating the murder of Tabitha Milton Rush aren't sure who to believe.
This married couple is essentially blaming the crime on each other. They both say the other one did it.
Investigators have to figure out who they can trust, who's telling the truth.
There's one thing about Raymond's story that's giving detectives pause.
Raymond claims Faith shot Tabitha while they were sitting in the car outside of her home. But none of the neighbors recall hearing gunshots or any sort of commotion that night.
It's possible no one heard the shots, but it seems more likely that Tabitha was killed somewhere else, like in Faith's version.
And that's not the only strike against Raymond's version of events.
Raymond's phone records place him at the location where Tabitha's body was found. Faith's phone never left St. Louis.
Ballistics evidence also refutes Raymond's version of events.
His wife was right-handed. It would be virtually impossible for anyone with their right hand to reach around from the back seat and have that perfect straight-on trajectory 2 shots.
Investigators become certain Raymond Reed is the person who fired those 2 shots.
On January 6th, Raymond is formally charged with first-degree murder.
Despite him continuing to try to maintain his false narrative, The investigators feel like they have a pretty good sense of what led up to Tabitha's death.
Based on the statements from his ex-girlfriends and conversations with Tabitha's friends and family, there's no doubt he was controlling and abusive.
And on New Year's Day, investigators believe Raymond's simmering rage boiled over as he was spying on Tabitha's house and saw Glenn drop her off.
He saw another man drop Tabitha off at home. He could not handle that, and he snapped.
Around 5:30 p.m., Raymond decided to put his plan into action.
Hey. Mind if I come in?
He knew Tabitha wasn't going to make a scene in front of her friend, so he used that opportunity to get into the home.
But after her friend left, Raymond confronted Tabitha about the man he'd seen earlier, Glenn Jenkins.
Well, what you don't understand? I mean, we're meant to be together, you know that?
Tabitha basically told Raymond to get over it because she didn't want to be with him anymore. She wanted to be with Glenn.
She told Raymond to leave.
You're not throwing me out. Come on.
Get out.
But a few hours later, Raymond showed back up at Tabitha's house and somehow convinced her to get in the car with him.
You have 5 minutes. They drive around the city, and we know what happens next.
He shot Tabitha twice in the left side of her head.
I don't know if this is any comfort to anyone, but I personally believe that she had no idea this was coming. I think she was looking straight ahead out the window, and he just shot her.
It's just so heartbreaking that she was able to survive cancer, but she wasn't able to survive this brutal man.
After Tabitha was dead, Raymond dumped her body in Bethalto and returned home to enlist the help of his wife in covering up the crime and establishing an alibi.
Baby, I really need your help now.
What do you mean?
His manipulation of faith just goes to show what an awful person he really was.
For nearly a year, prosecutors billed their case and prepped Faith to testify against her estranged husband.
She was terrified to testify at trial. She did not want to have to testify, but she knew that for Tabitha and for Tabitha's family, that she had to do what she had to do.
With Faith poised to testify against him, Raymond realizes he doesn't stand a chance of convincing a jury that he's innocent.
It was going to trial a Monday after Thanksgiving, so the day before Thanksgiving, his attorneys indicated that he was willing to take a plea of guilty.
Raymond agrees to plead guilty to first-degree murder and concealment of a homicidal death in exchange for a lighter sentence.
He was sentenced to 38 years in Department of Corrections. That would make him about 84 if he gets out. So I was satisfied with that sentence.
One of the great tragedies of Tabitha's story is that she fought so hard. She had overcome that battle with cancer, but she ended up falling for this man who was just violent and toxic, and she unfortunately didn't survive that battle.
They don't tell you I'm a murderous narcissist right off the bat, right? This isn't one of those cases where, you know, the person's abusive over years and years and years and years. This is a very short period of time. They met in September, and 3 months later, he killed her.
I think every murder is senseless, but this one in particular, it's just senseless. What he took from so many people who loved her so much. It's a senseless loss of a beautiful life.
Abuse is never okay. If you or someone you love is in an abusive relationship, there is help available. Call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE.
Philadelphia native Vernell Jones gives her heart to a man who consumes her.
She could not get Kenneth out of her system. There was no one in her life like him.
So when his irrational jealous streak rears its ugly head, she helps him devour the competition, one ex-boyfriend at a time.
They pulled out the contract, and they X'd out the fireman's initials.
Vernell was seductive and deadly. She was the classic Black Widow.
And later, in sunny Virginia Beach, Virginia, Desperate for love and a direction in her life, Cherry Edwards latches on to the first man who gives her what she craves.
She had to basically cling to DeAndre. He became a necessity for her.
But when the young lovers' piggy bank runs dry, their get-rich-quick plan will leave both of them with blood on their hands.
He shot him in cold blood, execution style.
When he told her to get the money, she got the money. She was going to do whatever DeAndre said.
Growing up in West Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Vernell Jones and her 3 sisters experienced daily chaos in their childhood home.
It was a very tumultuous relationship between Vernell's mom and dad, so it really kind of made her feel emotionally isolated.
When a child is growing up in a home where there's constant conflict between the parent, they grow up in a very skewed manner where they really don't know what a normal, healthy, functional relationship is.
By the time her parents divorce, Vernell's in her teens, living a modest life with her mother and sisters. The young lady attends church regularly, but is already getting noticed by the opposite sex.
They had a musical background, and their mother encouraged that. Vernell sang on a regular basis in their church choir.
Vernell really had a warm personality. She was very bubbly and outgoing, but she was very insecure. And so what made her feel secure was the attention of men, because that gave her value, that made her feel like she was special.
After bouncing from one man to the next for 10 years, Vernell ends up having 2 children. The young mother takes on any job she can find to support them. By age 27, she's sharing an apartment with one of her sisters and working at an IT company. And she doesn't mind mixing business with pleasure.
She was working there pretty consistently. So she was close to her coworkers and even started a workplace romance with one of her coworkers.
But it isn't until she meets another employee, 26-year-old Kenneth Burno, that sparks really start to fly. He works in marketing, but tells Vernell his real passion is singing. It's music to her ears.
He was a very outgoing, smooth operator type of guy. Definitely like a ladies' man.
They fell in love. He and Vernell spent an awful lot of time together.
However, after 2 years of dating, Vernell starts to notice a few flaws in her boyfriend she may have overlooked, like his jealousy.
If Kenneth ever saw Vernell speaking to another man, and it could be totally innocent, he would really have a problem with that. He controlled her telephone. He had her report to him on a regular basis.
You need to get out of here. Typically what we see with people who are in love, there is some sort of possessiveness on the part of one of the partners. The person receiving that attention just absolutely loves it.
She's determined to make this work. And for the next few years, she goes along with his rules, doing all she can to make him happy.
I think she stayed with him because she loved him. She truly did.
But her devotion doesn't seem to be enough for Kenneth. And after almost 5 years together, their relationship is rocky at best.
It was back and forth. It just continued with this cycle of, I love you, I hate you, let's get back together and let's break up.
That spring, during one of their breakups, Vernell starts working in customer service at a bridal warehouse. It doesn't take long for her lively personality to attract new friends, especially of the male persuasion. Almost instantly, she bonds with her 36-year-old supervisor, John Davis.
They worked together, they liked each other, and they went jogging together, and that was about the extent of it.
He's a lovable guy. He has 6 children already, and he is engaged to be married.
Around the same time, she hits it off with a 30-year-old fireman named Ronald Humphrey, who works at the firehouse next to the place she and her kids share with her sister. He's the perfect spark to keep her home fires burning.
He was a friend with benefits. It wasn't really serious. It was all about the sex.
But try as she might, no one can take the place of her one true love.
She could not get Kenneth out of her system. She would always want to go back to him.
A few months later, the two decide to rekindle their relationship. But when Kenneth hears the rumors about Vernell's extracurricular activity, he's furious. He starts questioning her love and loyalty.
This was a classic and pure manipulation, using all of her insecurities against her, doing whatever he could to make her feel less than, and therefore tricking her into wanting to do more and more in order to get his approval.
To please him, she cuts off all communication with the men she knows, like her lover Ronald and friend John. She even leaves the bridal warehouse and gets another job doing data entry at an insurance company to go the extra mile.
Vernell wanted his love, but the love was subject to his control and his approval. And she would do absolutely anything that he wanted her to do.
But no gesture ever seems to be enough for Kenneth, and his jealousy kicks into high gear. Then, one night, he tells her there's only one way to make him feel secure in their relationship.
I don't trust you.
He says, write a contract of all of the men that you've slept with or that I think that you've slept with. In order to get him back, Kenneth tells Vernell she's going to have to kill every man on this list.
Vernell doesn't want to and is astonished at the very idea, but he's not backing down.
That I'm gonna stay in this relationship.
It was more or less forced upon her, but she loved him, and that is likely the reason why she went along with this contract, to prove her devotion.
At his direction, she writes up the list of men, using just their first initials. She includes her past lover, Ronald Humphrey, her friend, John Davis, and even a co-worker she had a brief fling with 5 years earlier. Kenneth can't have anyone thinking that he's been disrespected.
He says, look, there's no way that we're going to be together unless you stick to the list and stick to the contract.
In many ways, this was a woman who was brainwashed by Kenneth into doing anything that he wanted. He just kept reinforcing it and kept pushing it, and it became her way of life.
3 months later, determined to prove her loyalty to Kenneth, Vernell reaches out to firefighter Ronald Humphrey, and he's a bit surprised to hear from her.
When he had asked her why she was calling out of the blue like that, she just said, hey, I wanted to get together. Let's hook up for a little bit.
Hoping to get lucky, Ronald readily agrees, and the two agree to meet at a local park around 9 p.m. that night.
He had absolutely no clue that he was stepping into a dangerous situation.
She was blinded by her love for him, and she was like his puppet.
Vernell Jones is all set to meet her ex-lover, Ronald Humphrey, at a Philadelphia park after her boyfriend, Kenneth Burno, has her make a hit list of her past flings.
Kenneth drove Vernell to the meeting location, and all this time, Kenneth was watching their every move.
With a gun in her purse, she's ready to lure the firefighter to his death. The old lovers fool around for a few minutes in the front seat of Ronald's SUV. Before it gets too steamy, Vernell tells him that she needs to excuse herself for a minute, but that she'll be right back to finish what they started.
He then got into the back seat of the vehicle and waited for her.
So as she steps away, she digs into her purse and grabs the gun. She gets the gun ready, she takes a deep breath, and she heads back to Ronald.
Kenneth was watching nearby to make sure that it went down the way it had been planned.
Vernell nervously approaches the car.
She opens the door and slowly pointed that gun right at him.
It was at that point that she simply fired.
But the plan goes awry when her prey isn't down.
He was shot in the arm. He got out, struggled with her.
He defended himself. He lunged forward, grabbed the gun from Vernell, and ripped it from her hands.
So Ronald wrestles the gun away, and he puts the gun underneath the driver's seat.
From a distance, Kenneth watches and decides it's too risky to show his face.
I didn't mean it, I'm sorry.
The fireman is dumbfounded by her actions. Vernell quickly grabs the gun from under the seat and puts it back in her purse.
He asked her, why'd you shoot me? And Vernell really couldn't answer him, so she just took off.
After Ronald gets as far away as he can, Vernell finds Kenneth. He's livid and immediately blames her for botching up the plan.
He basically told her that she can't do anything right. If I'm gonna have this done, I gotta do it myself, that sort of a thing.
He made her feel really guilty. So now here we go with this classic cycle again, where she has to do even more to get his approval.
Undaunted, Kenneth drives back to his house. Once there, he pulls out the hit list.
And they X'd out the fireman's initials and said, we'll take care of that later.
For the next few days, Vernell's stomach is in knots as she hides out in her apartment, expecting the worst.
So she is just thinking at any moment the cops are coming to get her. Little did she know that Ronald didn't say anything.
He told the police that he had been robbed, and he never once told them that it was Vernell who had shot him. He just didn't want to be involved.
After a couple of weeks, the partners in crime realize they are in the clear. 2 months after Vernell shot Ronald, the pair are on the hunt again. Kenneth says it's time for number 2 on the list, and this time, he's going to make sure they see it through.
And he was going to shoot this time because she screwed up the last time. So they began their plan for the next person on their hit list, John Davis, the manager of the bridal warehouse.
Kenneth tells her to reach out to her old boss, and she obeys him without question.
John had gotten this phone call out of the blue from Vernell, and she wanted to meet with him.
Hey, John, I'll be up there like 9:30. Give me like 15 minutes, like 9:45.
He calls her back and agrees to meet her at his van in the parking lot of the bridal warehouse that night after he gets off work. But he's feeling a little nervous about it and confides in a coworker.
What struck John as odd was that Vernell told him, don't tell anybody that I'm coming up there to meet you.
Later that night, Vernell and Kenneth arrive at the bridal warehouse early and park across the street to put their plot in motion.
So Kenneth breaks into John's van as planned and sits into the back seat.
Vernell's ready to trap her next victim. Around 9:30 p.m., John clocks out and heads outside.
She quickly ran up to where Davis was. He asked her to get into the car. So they sat in the front seat and spoke for a little while.
She keeps him distracted while Kenneth prepares for the kill. And the two chit-chat about John's 6 children and all of the Christmas gifts he still has to wrap.
When John and Vernell were sitting in the front seat talking, Kenneth is in the back seat waiting to execute their plan.
Her friend is so caught up in his own story that he's completely oblivious to what's happening behind him. That's when Kenneth sees his opportunity.
Kenneth pulled out his gun and pointed it right at the back of John's head.
And later, in Virginia Beach, Virginia, Cherry Edwards hopes some quick cash will give her and her man a future. But their plan will kill more than her hopes and dreams.
This is not just a girlfriend following her boyfriend. This is a pregnant woman going along with a murder.
I got money, man.
After enticing her friend, John Davis, to his van in a parking lot in West Philly, Vernell Jones anxiously listens to him talk, while her boyfriend, Kenneth Burno, slowly raises his gun from the back seat.
And he fired a shot into the back of John's head.
As John's body slumps over towards Vernell, she instantly jumps out of the van with Kenneth right behind her. He tells her they need to make sure John's dead and gives her the gun to finish him off.
He wanted her to get her hands dirty, to get her hands on that gun, to further cement their partnership in his mind, this kind of twisted partnership that they were forming.
Vernell really appeared to be in shock when her friend John was shot in the head. And when he slumped over her, this was a trauma for her. At this point, she was at the point of no return and knew that she had to just keep going with these murderous actions.
Eager to show her love to Kenneth, she does as she's told. She climbs into the back of the van.
She just is like in a trance. She takes the gun, she opens up the door.
Her hand shakes as she points the gun towards John's motionless body. As she turns her head away, she fires twice into his back as instructed.
Kenneth at that time was pretty happy, but Vernell was very upset.
The dastardly duo flee the scene. He drops her off at his place to ditch the gun and returns half an hour later, wanting to celebrate.
At his insistence, the two of them had sex.
She did her duty. I will reward you by giving you more and more sex. It's really just twisted. In this particular case, Kenneth used it in a very ominous, very dangerous, very evil way.
After their lovemaking, Kenneth excitedly pulls out the hit list and strikes through John's initial. The two lovers come up with an alibi and think they've gotten away with murder.
They knew there would be a police investigation, so they conspired. They got their story straight right from the start.
Around 9 a.m. the next morning, one of the bridal warehouse employees is shocked to discover John's lifeless body in his van and calls the White Marsh police. Everyone who knew him is devastated.
John was a family guy and a very nice man, and people who worked with him liked him.
After speaking with co-workers and checking voicemails, it doesn't take long for detectives to learn about John's secret rendezvous.
We actually found voicemails, recorded voicemails from Vernell to John earlier in that day, setting up the meeting.
Hey, John, I'm calling you, let you know I'll be up here like 9:30.
Investigators visit her at her apartment that afternoon. She admits calling John to hang out, but says she stood him up. Instead, she says she went to her boyfriend's house, where they stayed all night.
She is doing whatever Kenneth asked her to do. She's making sure that she doesn't drop any hints or anything to police officers. She's trying to get that contract fulfilled.
To check her story out, police question Kenneth at his home, but he stands by his woman as planned.
They gave virtually identical statements.
Meanwhile, as investigators talk to Vernell's family, they learn about the firefighter in her life, who had been attacked 2 months earlier.
So police do some digging and they find out that Ronald actually had been shot and that he's right next door to Vernell. And so they bring him in for questioning.
After being pressed, he finally admits that Vernell was the one who shot him. And when police match the bullets from each shooting, it's enough to arrest Vernell at her apartment and charge her with both crimes. But they don't know about Kenneth's involvement, and she doesn't betray him.
Vernell just denied any involvement in the shooting of John Davis. Plain and simple. Didn't do it. And she didn't want to say anything negative about Kenny at all.
She was trained. There was no getting off the plan. Kenneth had her under his spell.
That summer, while Vernell awaits trial for John's murder, she pleads guilty to aggravated assault for the earlier shooting of fireman Ronald Humphrey and receives 5 to 10 years. But it takes 7 months before Kenneth's hold on her weakens.
She had a lot of time to think while she was in jail and Kenneth was out living his life. And she began to realize that he manipulated her.
And I do believe, to some level, there appears to have been some remorse on her part where she realized what she did was wrong.
Vernell decides to come clean and finally agrees to testify against her one true love in exchange for less jail time. That December, Kenneth is arrested at his home and charged with first-degree murder 1 year to the day of John's murder.
He was belligerent, uncooperative throughout, and he never admitted his involvement in this crime.
Vernell Jones pleads guilty to third-degree murder and conspiracy for her crimes against John and receives 17 to 35 years in prison.
The press dubbed her the Black Widow of Philadelphia because she would lure her men in and devour them.
Despite the nickname, during sentencing, she apologizes to the victim's family.
Vernell was extremely remorseful. Had she not fallen in love with him so desperately as she had, the criminal justice system would have known nothing of Vernell Jones.
The following spring, Kenneth Burno goes to trial. The jury finds him guilty of conspiracy to commit murder for making a hit list and murder for the death of John Davis, and is given 2 life sentences. He is never brought up on charges with regard to Ronald. In retrospect, Vernell has finally realized that no matter the power Kenneth had over her, she still had a choice and must now pay the price.
In the long run, this cost her her freedom, and it cost someone his life.
Vernell used her sexuality, pure and simple, in order to get these men into her clutches. You could say that this woman had become the classic Black Widow.
Vernell Jones's love for her man made her blind to the destruction they caused, and an innocent life was taken. In Virginia, Cherry Edwards will head down the same path, only the devastation they cause will be twofold. In the beautiful resort town of Virginia Beach, Cherry Edwards is the apple of her father's eye. The high-ranking Navy official never turns down an opportunity to coddle his two daughters, especially his youngest.
Cherry was totally spoiled when she was growing up. She didn't miss out on anything. She had a lot of fun in her life.
She must have got this out of magazine.
Even after her parents' divorce, when she's 11 years old, her bond with her father remains tight.
She ended up living with her dad, so that's definitely would bring them close together, but she visited her mom too.
As Cherry reaches her teen years, her eye is focused on the future. She has big plans to attend college and then join the military, just like her dad.
She wanted to take the money from when she went to the Marine Reserves and use that to start a culinary business.
She had a world full of possibilities ahead of her, and she wanted to do a lot with her life.
But her father doesn't stay single forever. By the time Cherry is a senior in high school, her older sister goes off to college, and she has a stepmom and two little brothers.
Look what I got for you.
Although she has some adjusting to do when it comes to her new siblings.
She was jealous. She used to tell me she just didn't want to share her dad with her younger siblings. She just wanted her dad for herself.
You've got to understand that Cherry was hurt. She was no longer the apple of her dad's eye. All the attention was going towards the boys, and she just felt like she was just put out, left out, just to be on her own.
After graduating high school, she rebels against her father by refusing to attend college like he wants her to. And soon her dreams of joining the military fade away. Over the next year, the defiant teen only adds fuel to the fire.
She started acting out, and she did start going to clubs, partying, drinking, smoking, and stuff like that. She had started getting a little wild. This is what we call acting out behaviors. And therefore, in order to get that attention, in order to fill that hole in her heart that was there, and she started doing negative things, getting into very self-destructive behaviors.
At 19 years old, her dad decides his youngest daughter's old enough to be on her own. So Cherry starts staying wherever she can find a couch.
I think she was at a very impressionable time in figuring out who she was.
Lost and lonely, the spoiled teenager is desperate for some love in her life. And when she finds the one who gives it to her, she's willing to do the unthinkable to keep it.
He was the one calling the shots, and she was there to follow his lead.
No one thought that they were capable of being cold-blooded killers.
Dad, this is so stupid. You're not even paying attention.
After being cut off financially by her father in Virginia Beach, Virginia, Cherry Edwards is staying with anyone who will take her in, looking for the right path in life.
Cherry, she was kind of unraveling. She had been unraveling since her senior year of high school. When she had to move away from all the rules and all the discipline, she was also leaving all the money behind.
She was just actually probably looking for help or just looking for a place to stay because she was running out of spots to sleep.
Knowing she'll need money for her own place, she takes on a job as a cashier at a fast food restaurant and is glad she did. One of the cooks there, 22-year-old DeAndre Dunaway, catches her eye.
DeAndre, he came from a very good family. He grew up in a beautiful home in a nice neighborhood.
He lives in a small apartment right down the street from the burger joint. After telling him her situation, he offers his place to Cherry as a friend until she can get back on her feet. She can't believe her luck.
Now in steps DeAndre, and this is the perfect time for him to be able to take control over her because her heart is empty. He opens up his home to her. He was literally the white knight on the horse coming in to rescue her.
Soon, his chivalry knows no bounds, and he gives Cherry all the love she's been craving, although she keeps the details to herself.
My niece had called me and told me that she had met him. She just said that she had a new boyfriend, and that was like it.
But what Cherry doesn't know is that her man isn't exactly the knight in shining armor she thinks he is. DeAndre was indicted for embezzlement from a store where he used to work, but the charges were ultimately dropped.
He made it look like he had refunded someone their money. And that same year, he also picked up a marijuana charge.
But all Cherry knows is how grateful she is to have found such an honorable guy. Between living and working together, their bond becomes stronger than glue, and Cherry forgets all about the other man that was once the center of her life.
She was spending a lot of time with DeAndre, and she wasn't having that much contact with her father.
Instead, the two become tight with their manager, 27-year-old Alfonso White.
He takes them on as kind of a little sister and little brother, and they become very close. They're always around each other at work. They hang out with each other outside of work.
That Thanksgiving, he even invites the couple to his house to spend time with his fiancée, their 3 children, and his 19-year-old brother, Michael Johnson. It's the family time that Cherry has been missing.
They came over and they all basically fellowshiped together. They had fun, they played cards, they ate, and they even spent the night.
But 2 months later, Cherry gets some shocking news that will change her entire future.
She finds out that she's pregnant. Anyone who may be that young may be really scared.
Yet her boyfriend stands by her.
DeAndre was excited about it.
He was ready to welcome the child. So they may have been happy that the child was coming, but I don't think that they had a plan to support it financially.
The young lovers know that being a cook and a cashier don't pay much. So Cherry reaches out to her dad for help, but doesn't get the answer she's looking for.
My brother stopped doing everything that he used to do for her because she was grown, and she couldn't accept that.
Devastated, she needs to come up with a plan to make money fast, or she might lose DeAndre.
Cherry was in desperation mode. She lost her father, and this wasn't gonna happen to her a second time. So she would do anything to make sure she was able to keep him.
A few days later, while Cherry is at work, she suddenly realizes the answer is right in front of her eyes.
Money was passing through her hands, and this money started becoming enticing to her. She wanted it.
When she returns after her shift that day, she tells DeAndre her idea.
Her suggestion was to rob the restaurant.
She reminds him that every night when the place closes around midnight, Alfonso goes alone to the back office to count how much money was made, and then puts it in the safe.
The manager is the one who has the combination to the safe and any other information that would connect them to the money.
Cherry says they could wear masks, rob him, and take off without their friend ever knowing it's them. She can barely hold back her excitement when she says, with the cash they get, they could be set.
Was feeling rejected, she was feeling alone. She just didn't have that lifestyle that she had before and that she wished she had.
Let's do it.
DeAndre thinks it's a great idea and readily agrees to the plan. A few days later, on the night of January 7th, Cherry is working at the fast food restaurant with Alfonso. She knows DeAndre will be coming in soon for his shift. It's the perfect time to pull off their plan, and she texts her boyfriend.
And it said, put on your mask, come up here and rob the restaurant.
DeAndre soon shows up and works the grill as usual. He doesn't bother bringing any masks, but he does bring something else with him.
He had a gun in his pocket the entire time he was working. He wanted to get rid of all the witnesses.
In Virginia Beach, Virginia, Cherry Edwards is a few weeks pregnant and desperate for money. So she and her boyfriend, DeAndre Dunaway, are about to rob the fast food restaurant where they work. But her man wants to take it one step further.
It was Cherry's plan to rob the fast food restaurant, but it was DeAndre's plan to rob it and get rid of all witnesses.
Cherry listens as he tells her with an eerie calmness that he'll have to kill the manager, Alfonso White, even though he's their friend.
DeAndre was the one with the gun. So DeAndre had to be the one to make that decision.
So even if it meant betraying Alfonso, someone who had brought them into his home, even if it meant not just betraying, but even killing him, well, they were ready to do that.
Around 11 p.m., their shifts end, and they put their plan in motion.
They clocked out, but instead of going home, they waited around.
The two casually walk out back and hide in the shadows for an hour. At midnight, while Cherry nervously waits by the back entrance, DeAndre makes his move.
Alfonso was closing for the night, and he was in the manager's office counting the money, just like he normally does.
DeAndre slowly sneaks into the office while Alfonso has his back to the door.
Alfonso saw him and he looked like he was about ready to get out of the seat. And DeAndre points the gun straight at him. And before Alfonso could say anything, he shoots him in the head in cold blood. And his blood splatters across the money that was laid on the table.
Cherry stays in position outside, motionless.
So she at the very least heard what happened and had to have heard that gunshot go off.
As Alfonso bleeds out on the desk, DeAndre immediately grabs his girl.
DeAndre went out to the back door of the restaurant and he let Cherry in. She comes in and collects the money off the table and puts it inside the Ziploc bag. And then she puts the bag into her purse. As they were about to leave, they get a knock on the door.
Without making a sound, the two look at each other in shock. DeAndre slowly opens the door to see Alfonso's brother, Michael, standing there.
What's up with you, DeAndre?
He was across the street shopping, and he had just finished up, so he came back to pick up his brother.
They had no idea that Michael was coming to pick up Alfonso that night.
That's when their adrenaline really started rushing.
At that point, DeAndre had to make a decision.
Within seconds, Michael realizes what's going on.
Michael saw the gun in DeAndre's hand, and of course he was upset and very nervous, and so he offered him the money that he had.
DeAndre ignores the young man's pleas.
And he shot Michael in the head.
Michael's body falls right in the doorway.
Now, it's two boys that's gone. You know, they'll never see their mom again.
And after everything Alfonso did for them, they just didn't care. The only thing they thought about was the money. They were blinded by their own greed.
I think in her mind, she had herself thinking that she wasn't committing the murder, so it was okay. She was just involved in the robbery. And that's probably how she justified what she was doing.
Afterwards, the two take off.
They left him lying in a pool of blood on the floor, and they actually walked back home. And somewhere along the way, they got rid of the gun.
Back at their apartment, the two are pumped full of adrenaline as they eagerly count their bounty. But when they go through the bills, their get-rich-quick scheme is a huge letdown.
They ended up stealing $1,100, even though Cherry was counting that money every day and it was passing through her hand. She didn't have a clue about how little it was.
And the fact that some of the money has blood spatter on it is even more disappointing to them.
They can't even spend it. They can't even do anything with this money, so their entire plan blew up in their face.
They hide the money in their bedroom closet and decide to lay low.
We're gonna lay low. I don't really think that Sherry and DeAndre understood the magnitude of what they were doing. It was murderous, it was horrendous, it was terrible. They took lives, but yet they callously did it. And so they're not thinking about the future, they're not thinking about consequences.
At 2 a.m., the delivery driver for the fast food joint's produce arrives as usual. He's traumatized by what he finds.
He opens the door and he sees Michael lying on the floor in a pool of his own blood. So he calls out to him, but he doesn't answer, so he calls the police.
Virginia Beach couple Cherry Edwards and DeAndre Dunaway lay low after killing their good friends Alfonso White and his brother Michael for some fast cash. What they don't know is that the wheels of justice are already in motion.
The delivery driver went to open the door, saw Michael's body, and knew that something was wrong and called police.
When investigators arrive, they discover both bodies and can tell right away this was a gruesome double murder motivated by money.
They found Alfonso surrounded by the change that was left behind from the robbery.
It doesn't take detectives long to start to put the pieces together.
DeAndre and Cherry were the last two people to clock out that night. So they knew they were two people who at least had some information that would help them find the suspects, or they were actually the suspects.
Later that afternoon, investigators pay them a visit, and they voluntarily agree to come to the police station. Cherry's cooperative and answers the investigators' questions.
She felt safe. She felt like everything was going to be okay because all the witnesses were dead.
She doesn't deny working the night before.
Last night, you guys leave when? Or the night of the murder, what time do you guys leave?
We clocked out around like 10:30.
Investigators have a feeling she's hiding something, but she refuses to betray DeAndre.
I told you everything that happened last night.
2 people got shot. They're dead. And you know more about it, and you're not telling it.
I keep trying to tell y'all I don't get involved with this.
And her strange behavior gives them pause.
She seemed to be really tired. She was sleeping a lot of times when investigators would walk out of the room.
When it finally started to sink in what she had done, Sherry realized that this was awful. This was something she shouldn't have done, and the reality of it was really hitting her.
Meanwhile, DeAndre is tight-lipped. But after checking the couple's cell phone records, police know these are the killers they're looking for.
They found this text message on Cherry's phone sent to DeAndre's phone that said, "Put on your mask and come up to the restaurant."
It's enough for police to get a search warrant for their apartment. And what they find seals their fate.
When police went to search DeAndre and Cherry's home, they found the money with the blood on it in their bedroom.
But the last nail in the coffin is when DNA results confirm that the blood on the money is Alfonso's. The two are immediately booked.
Cherry and DeAndre were charged with 2 counts of murder, conspiracy, robbery, and use of a firearm during a felony.
If convicted, DeAndre is looking at the death penalty, and Cherry could get life.
I really did feel shocked because I couldn't believe that she was in that position that she was in, and I can't believe she allowed no one to put her in that position.
With the evidence against them, 6 months after the murders, the young couple both plead guilty in exchange for lighter sentences. In court, each shows little emotion.
They both seemed detached and removed from what they had just done. There's no way they could have fathomed how their story would end.
That November, DeAndre Dunaway is sentenced to 2 life terms without parole, while Cherry Edwards is given 47 years to life for her role in the murders.
Cherry will be 67 years old by the time she gets out of prison.
Even though the robbery was her idea, she may never understand what she risked when she agreed to go along with murder, just to be loved.
She actually lost her freedom, and she don't get to be with her kid, no waking up in the morning, taking a baby to school. I am still shocked, and I really do hope that she learned from this.
Her biggest mistake probably was getting involved with DeAndre. She went from having a plan for the rest of her life to getting involved into robbery and murder.
When you look at this in a more complex way, it appears that Sherry was a woman who was so consumed with the love that she had for DeAndre that she would have done